So at one point, Hamlet is like trying to define, like say like how.
Act 2 and Act 3 sheet. So I see Sarah has it out, very good. I see Kimmy has it out, very good. I see Christine has it out, very good. If you have more ideas, please add them. We have to build the Google Doc. Okay, think tank.
Alright, we had Claudius who hired Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to spy on Hamlet and see why he's gone mad. And then, again, Polonius thinks it's due to Hamlet's love for Ophelia. Polonius and Claudius plan to hide and like spy on Ophelia and Hamlet's interaction. And then when they can't find anything that's like specifically making him seem crazy, like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they let Hamlet hire the actors just to like appease him.
Excellent.
And Hamlet at this point wants to make a play of what happened apparently to his father, and he wants to see it for Claudius's reaction if he's guilty or not.
Excellent. Let's add a few things to the plot points. What impressions do we have of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? And who are they in relationship to Hamlet? Lynn?
Well, they're his friends.
Correct.
But they kind of act a lot like goons to Claudius.
Excellent. So they kind of act a lot like goons. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? So when you think about masters or servants, you would cast them as servants, right? So when we look at our different types, we have the brigella, the brawler, right? Then we have the arlecchino, who usually plays opposite of the brawler, so you can have them kind of fit into these slots or mix and match them, right? Would you say that they have unique identities? What does your gut say?
No.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, do they have unique identities? No. Excellent. Well, not excellent for them, but they do not have unique identities, right? Now, they are promised what? This is very close.
King's remembrance.
Very good, Gus. Thank you. What is a king's remembrance?
Nothing.
Very good, Gus.
Wow.
So, we don't know what that is. And this is, when we think about highbrow jokes, right, looking at that language, there's so much analysis about what is a king's remembrance, right? What is this promise? So when you think about just certain language, right, how do you play with that and play off of it? So for instance, when Tyler goofed on antidisposition, everyone's like, what's an anti? And he's like, I'll look it up, right? Because who thinks it's a good idea that Hamlet pretends to be crazy to disguise his plan?
I think it's great.
Oh, wow, really?
It's not bad.
Okay, well maybe I should try it sometime. See, everyone be like, no, we don't like that. See,
Oh, like that day with the juniors that you did.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I do.
But anyway, okay, so King's Remembrance, right? So what is that? Excellent, guys. We also get news during the scene, right, about the state, the political state, with whom? I mentioned him earlier, I'm dressed as him. Yes, what do we learn about foreign brows? This needs to be in there, because we need to know if we want to take it out. What do we learn? We were just talking about it.
He's attacking Poland.
Yes, right? It's going through Denmark to attack Poland. Okay. The players. Hamlet, is he, what would you say his response to the players is in this scene? What's his response? How does he receive them? He's happy, right? Hamlet himself is a what? A player. Because he's playing a role. He's playing a lot of roles. Like he's playing antic, or is he antic? Right? He's very intrigued and he sees the player crying, right? He says, why can't I do that? Right? Why can't I take action? Right? So this is really interesting, this piece here, is interaction with the players. And if you wanted to do it, you could puppet it, right? All right, so give us your commedia considerations. Everyone tune in and look at your own as well.
We had that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were really excited to spy on Hamlet for Claudius, and that they just go completely overboard with the ideas. Or Sarah and I were actually talking about this before, having really bad spies. So like it's really obvious, but they're not good at what they do at all.
Okay.
And have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern comically deny Hamlet's suspicions of their association with the king.
What was the last thing you said?
Have them deny the suspicions from Hamlet of their association with the king.
Do you think that these comedy suggestions could exist in the tragedy without adapting it?
Somewhat.
Probably.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I like these head nods. Use your words. You have them, right? So everyone's like, yes, yes, they could. Most plays do play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern as a comic because you read them in the tragedy as goons, right? I don't know if they were the people they'd appreciate that, but yeah, some people wrote frat bros on their charts, right? And had like lots of like, or lax bro was another one, which I thought was interesting. That might be a period 3 illusion. What would you cut from this scene? What might you cut from this scene?
Some of Hamlet's monologue with the player is about like how he specifically wants them to play. Not really necessary for commedia.
Yeah, you could probably cut that down. So write that in, Kristen. You probably cut that down. Any other thoughts about this scene? I think it's an interesting idea about all the tactics for spying, right? And it can get really progressively more ridiculous, but also that this is an opportunity for like political illusions, right? Like Big Brother or the NSA or talking about things that we kind of could connect to.
There's this improv game, I forget what it's called, I think it's like Please Excuse Me or something like that. And the idea is that there's a student that's running in to a class and the teacher's asking him why he's late. And he has to like explain, like create a story for why he's late, and then other people like act it out for him.
Okay.
And when she said that like they're like really bad at spying, I pictured like Hamlet's like, why are you actually here? And like they have to explain, they have to make up like a ridiculous story as to why they're there.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Kirsten, for recording that. Any other suggestions for the scene?
For the spies idea?
Yeah.
So one day on Ellen, there was this like,
A little louder, Tyler.
one day on Ellen DeGeneres, they had like this little kid and they were playing like hide and go seek or whatever, and then the kid goes like, if I can't see you, you can't see me. You know that type of thing? And they could just be like spying, but you know, they're just, yep.
Well, they're trying to like ask him questions to figure out why he's antic, right? So
Oh.
that's a big part of it. So that might be a good Polonius shtick, right? When they're spying, Polonius, right? That would be great for Polonius. So whoever has that scene, if you could write that
That's us.
down or add it, so that's you guys. So write that in there. That was great, Tyler.
Thank you.
That was great, but not for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But they're in Hamlet's face, right?
Right.
So, but Polonius is trying to hide. Excellent. That's so good. Okay, Gus.
You could do a like a psychiatrist type of scene where they have like the random shapes, the blacker shapes on the white paper. Is like, what is this? Like you have like a couple of shapes that are just completely random, and then you have one where it's just like murdering Polonius, like just a straight up picture, and then Hamlet's like, I don't know, a butterfly. I don't know.
That's great. Or have like a couch. Like, back for Wittenberg. Relax. That's great. Now remember, it's like minimalist, but at the same time, you can create these things. That's fantastic. Very good. Very good. See? A lot of light bulbs. A lot of light bulbs. Okay. All right, we're going to move on from 2-2. Excellent. Thank you for recording those things. All right, 3-1. 3-1. All right, basic plot points, and then give us your ideas. We're going to move a little faster.
Go for it.
I don't have my paper.
So we have down that, so the king is asking Rosencrantz and Guildenstern like how Hamlet seemed, and they're like, he was pretty confused, like we don't really know either. And then Hamlet like accidentally runs into Ophelia, which they set up to see like how he acted around her, to see if it was love that was driving him crazy. And then he has the to be or not to be speech. And Hamlet talks to Ophelia when they run into each other, and he tells her that she should go to a nunnery so that
Get
he
thee
can't
to a nunnery.
get thee to a nunnery so that he can't produce any sinners like himself. And yeah, that's about it.
So what do we do? So this is that idea of Polonius and Claudius hiding, and that the idea from Tyler should go maybe here, right? It could also go with the Eros as well. But let's jump to the to be or not to be speech and the get thee to a nunnery. What do we do with those two very iconic speeches and interactions in Hamlet? Meredith,
You know how like he's like
a little louder, dear.
he's like kind of trying to like resist himself with her, so you can make the speech about whether he's like it's a little dirty, but like going to with her, you know what I mean? Rather than it being like, will I die or not die? It'll be like, will I like sleep with her or not?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
interesting. I don't know if that sets up get thee to a nunnery.
Right.
So that's a bit complicated. I see where you're going, but I don't know if it would transition well. Yeah.
Well, like, I feel like he already kind of does this, because he just keeps on saying, get thee to a nunnery. So maybe, like, every time she opens her mouth to speak, he just goes, get thee to a nunnery. Like, she doesn't get to talk. Like, he just cuts her off every time.
Yeah. And you have to build that. I can see where that could go
That
somewhere.
could also be like a recurring joke throughout the rest of Ophelia's life in the show.
Okay.
It's like he just keeps saying, like at the end of like every time he talks to her, he's like, just get these to another.
So the recurring like demand or command. Okay, yeah. As long as that repetition would work. Lynn.
Another idea for get thee to a nunnery, and he said for fear that he doesn't produce more sinners like himself. I think it would be funny if we continued not Claudius, Ophelia doesn't get what Hamlet has that she doesn't. So she asks, like she's kind of like, I don't get it. And he just answers with, I have something that you don't. And she's like, you know, my dad said the same thing. And then it just ends there.
Because if you can build the nunnery piece into Polonius's advice earlier, but you gotta get back to Cata's point, the running joke. That as opposed, like the opposite could be funny, right? So what Cata said yesterday, and I think if you run that, couldn't that work? Right, as opposed to her being really increasingly more upset, and he gets physical with her and he's trying to like accost her, and she's just not having it, and it's just increasingly more exciting to her. And she's like, we're going to the nunnery! Like, and the whole time, and if you build that might not be funny, who knows, but maybe you could build that joke. Because over here we have some snickers, over here they're like, meh, not feeling it, right? Not every joke lands. Yeah, Peter's like, I'll know.
Should I go?
Yeah, is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So when Hamlet's talking to Ophelia, you think he should be like saying like how great she is, and so just like you're such like a fantastic person, like, and then just go like you're like so well rounded, like, and then
That's awesome.
and then he says something like oh, I just want to feel you or something like that.
Oh my.
It's pretty good.
And okay, and then almost like, but it's gotta be, but when he realizes that Polonius and Claudius are there, right, he's gotta have a switch, like almost like he's like a little two-sided. So yeah, that's very funny. Let's revisit, so let's let that stick. The to be or not to be, what do we do with it? What do we do with it? Gotta keep it, but what do we do with it? Yeah.
Claudius and Polonius kind of like, I don't know, wherever they're hiding, just kind of like yell out like, do it! Or like,
You won't.
Oh my god.
And the other, I'm just great. Wrong. Weird, not so weird.
Family friendly.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's such an iconic speech, like everyone knows it, so like I feel like it's like instead of the lines, it's just like to be or to not to be or something like
If
that.
you, and the whole soliloquy is messed up. People have this memorized, you know, like
if he like forgets
and
it.
he just keeps forgetting it.
Yeah, when he pulls out the script.
Like, takes out a
Checks his
folio,
arm.
like takes out the big
Wait a minute,
folio. And you're just going through it.
I have this written down.
That'd be great.
somewhere.
That's really funny. It could be, or I just had an idea, no one's gonna like it, but it's okay. Oh, I shouldn't do that to myself, right?
No,
No, do it.
But what if you actually played it really serious?
You could like wait. You could like start as like it's funny and he's forgetting it, or Claudius is saying do it, and then he like gradually gets like more
Or you-
serious about it, so you have.
Yeah, or you
both.
could start serious and do like the opposite.
Yeah, because like I
Yeah.
remember like from
Like,
the
yeah.
one log that we had that they had their comments on the bottom of it,
Okay.
it said you need to keep the tragedy.
Yeah.
I feel like since that's such a well-known part, you have to have like some serious aspect to
Yeah.
that speech.
I feel like if it went like serious, funny, and then ended serious,
Oh, that might be.
and then ended with like a like right after it there was like a little like a tiny like comic thing
Yeah.
after it to like make to put a button on it.
Yeah.
That would work.
Because you could keep Hamlet serious, and then the funny could be Claudius and Polonius,
Yeah.
right? Like the do it that piece, man.
Flip.
You can have him forget his lines, and then like you could tell he like gets upset about it, so he tries to like act it out really well, and it's like horrible acting. So he's
Yeah.
like, I just feel like so bad. Like just make him like almost like a female.
We're gonna end on that because that builds into the next scene, right? The players, 3-2. Where's my 3-2 people? Okay, can you tell us the plot points? Write it in the Google Doc if you have an idea. Write it down. Okay, give us plot points and committee considerations. All right, loud.
So Hamlet prepares for his play to go live, and he gives the players a pretty inspiring speech about being players, and he says that they should let their own expertise like guide them. But it's also pretty clear that he has an agenda here, which is further reiterated when he speaks with Horatio before Claudius and his court arrive. And he's like, pay attention to my uncle because it's going to be hilarious. The play is to viewers, to us, an obvious depiction of what's going on with Claudius to take the throne from old King Hamlet. And after seeing multiple scenes with the king and queen and multiple players, and during the break, or during the play, Hamlet asked the queen what she thinks of it, and she says, oh, I detest this very much so, and I think Claudius does as well. That much is obvious when, after seeing the king poisoned in the play, Claudius just gets up and runs.
Lights.
Yeah, lights, and him and his whole court leave, and Hamlet prepares for his next phase in the play.
Commedia considerations.
Well, also, there's this part with like Ophelia and Hamlet, where like Hamlet's kind of like teasing her,
Yeah.
and Gus says that he could play a really funny, like overly sexualized Hamlet.
With the puppets.
Well, but also that runs with the Ophelia joke, and then Polonius getting increasingly more nervous, right? So that joke would keep running. If you have Hamlet, clearly, as Ben said, he wants to control this play, the murder of Gonzago. He calls it the mousetrap, right? Where he's going to catch the conscience of the king, right? But if you have Angelo, is it right? Is he there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If he's the puppeteer, right, doing the murder of Gonzago, and Hamlet keeps interrupting, right? Could it be comic if you had Hamlet like trying to tell puppets what to do? Like, could you see that happening?
Just puppets.
That the players were just puppets, right? And Hamlet's it's like he takes over, and like whoever's playing Hamlet takes Angelo's puppets, and he starts puppeteering. Could you see that? Right? And then the puppeteer's yelling at him in Italian. Could you see that?
Yeah.
Right? And then he goes and sits with Claudius and tells Claudius what's happening. So that's my commedia idea, maybe. That would work. All right, we're gonna move on because we only have a minute / not. So if the bell rings, I just want you guys to tell us scene 4, just basic summary really fast, and your commedia consideration. Kick it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Hamlet goes to talk to Gertrude in her room, and Polonius is hiding behind in a vase. And then Hamlet stabs Polonius, and the ghost appears at the end of the scene, but only Hamlet can see him.
Excellent. Commedia considerations. Kick it. We got a lot of ideas around here. All right, let's just kick it to the audience and add in whatever they say. Gus.
10-minute death scene from Polonius.
Very long speech.
Because he, like, when he actually dies, he says, I am slain, and then he just dies. Like, out of nowhere. Like, that's too short.
Yeah, and he talks so much in the play.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
I think it'd be funny if like they kind of suspect that someone's there, so he like goes to pull open a curtain and he like thinks he found him, and then there's like no one there, and he's like behind a different curtain.
Or Tyler's idea again that he had before. You can't see me. Jeremiah.
I think we said that it would be kind of funny if the ghost wasn't actually in the scene and Hamlet was just talking to like himself and Gertrude was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Fair.
I think if like Polonius and Hamlet like have a conversation as like Polonius has like a knife in him and he's dying. Like,
I think there's a lot of potential also between Gertrude and Hamlet. Record these things down, Lynn. You may pack up as I'm speaking. Mary has an idea. Her brain's going.
When he told Polonius, he should not notice, and then stop playing that sword, like that knife
Yeah,
around.
it's a black knife from Monty Python. It's just
And
a
then
flesh
they see
wound.
Oh my God! It's a flesh wound. Oh my God! It's a flesh wound.
Bite your leg off.
The one scene that did not talk to. Be with me. I know it's too hard. Monty Python, all you want to do is laugh at yourselves. One scene we didn't talk about that's really important is when Claudius is praying and Hamlet's listening to him, and he has the chance to kill him. Why does he not kill him? It's too easy. He's praying. He wants him to go to hell, right? So there's a lot of comic interpretation that we could really play with in that scene. I'll explore that with period 3. Tomorrow, you are to finish the Google Doc for your scene that you selected for Act 4. Do Friday, and by Friday, I mean that tomorrow is Act 4. Do Monday is the log for Act 5,